Thank you very much. You know, I'm with Dr. Grant Mullen, who is a mental health physician. Dr. Mullen, you have been on Huntley Street for almost as long as I have, but you've been more regular than I have in the last 5 years anyway. But it's this depression that Rob referred to, that, you know, the man calling from Western Canada saying, I'm beat up emotionally, I can't. Like, is depression epidemic?
Well, it appears to be that way because mood disorders affect 15% of the population. 80% of the people affected don't even realize they have it. But it's that the reason it seems so much more common now is our detection is so much better. People know what to look for. People know how to assess themselves better by watching programs like this one. And so then they're going for help, which makes it look like it's more common, but it's always been there. We're just identifying it now more effectively.
Okay, I don't know very many mental health doctors that I can reach as easily as we can reach you because we have a relationship with you. But we have these prayer lines and they are full. That's like one of the top needs is always coming in as emotional needs is what we classify it as. Does it help people to be able to get a phone conversation?
Oh, it makes an enormous difference. And there's a whole lot of reasons. But people, let's say with depression, because that's probably one of the most common calls, people with depression feel isolated, alone, cut off from God, and they stop praying. And when they can call the prayer line, the person can give them hope, give them information, and connect them to a God who they thought had written them off or is angry with them or is punishing them. And then they can hear a word from the counselor who can dispel these lies.
So this is a human voice we're giving. Real time, real listening, real responding. When you're depressed, when you're struggling socially and emotionally, how much difference does that make?
Well, it makes an enormous difference. Well, to the person who's suffering that day, because at the time they call, they're feeling hopeless and isolated. Life isn't worth living that way. And then the prayer counselor can just give them words of life and hope that we can turn the direction of their life and get them started in a recovery program.
Okay. You also believe there is there's probably a bench line mark that we can self-diagnose ourselves. What would that be? How do we know, look, you really need to reach out to somebody other than yourself right now?
Yeah, I mean, I teach seminars on how to do your own assessment so then you can know when to see a doctor, when to see a counselor. And the easiest tool for self-assessment is, can you shut your mind off? Because to me, the definition of a mental health problem is, I can't control my thoughts. And if you can't shut your mind off, that's usually a sign that you need to see a doctor, need to talk to a counselor, because you need to regain thought control.
Okay, and so praying spiritually, these could be mental health diagnoses, but you're saying there is actually, as a medical doctor, you're saying there is help that can be done just through prayer. Why?
Because you're connecting to supernatural love, supernatural power, and the healing anointing. Jesus wants to heal people, and he wants to demonstrate his love to people. And I've seen people miraculously healed of mood disorders after being prayed for.
And I have seen people just take another breath and say, you know what? Yeah, it's not quite as bad as I thought.
Well, I've had people, they would say, oh, I don't need to kill myself. I've had people write to me and said, I was watching the program and when you described depression, and I realized I don't need to kill myself.
And the Bible is full of lament. There are lots of places where God's friends down through the centuries have said, I'm giving up. I'm so discouraged about this. And yet, because they articulate that, they also can articulate the praise that follows and the help that follows. Okay, Grant, so you're as a mental health professional, you endorse our prayer lines.
Oh, absolutely, because it releases the supernatural, connects them to God's love, starts their healing journey.
For every family member in your family who may not speak to you about your mental health problems, thank God they can speak to 100 Huntley Street, and they can speak to these prayer lines anonymously. If you believe, like I do, that this is a ministry and a service to the nation that needs to grow stronger, would you answer the call for our financial year end? Before August 31st, we need to hear from you at 1-888-288-0003. Grant, thank you so much for always staying on call for us on our mental health issues. Thank you for endorsing our prayer lines.